History wasn't just made on Sunday. It erupted, it roared, it shattered the quiet expectations surrounding a fifth-round pick who was never supposed to be here, never supposed to win the spotlight, never supposed to outduel the first overall selection in the same draft. But that's exactly what Shadur Sanders did. He walked into a stadium filled with doubt, carrying the weight of a franchise that hasn't known stability at quarterback for 3 decades, and he delivered a performance that rewrote the narrative not just for himself, but for Cleveland, for this season, and for what the future of football might look like. In a year marred by losses, injuries, coaching confusion, and organizational dysfunction, Shadur stepped onto the field and delivered the one thing this franchise has been begging for. Undeniable proof that greatness can come from anywhere, even from the 144th slot on draft night. From the opening snaps, there was something different about him. It wasn't just the mechanics, the footwork, or the arm talent. It was the command, the poise, the calm that felt impossible for a rookie operating behind a battered offensive line and surrounded by teammates who have seen more heartbreak than hope. Shadur wasn't rattled. He wasn't hurried. He wasn't overwhelmed. Instead, he looked like a player who had been waiting his entire life for a game like this. A game that finally allowed him to unleash everything he had been preparing for through years of being overlooked, doubted, dismissed, and underestimated. Every throw he made carried weight. Every escape from pressure felt like a declaration. Every completed pass was a reminder that talent has no draft round and potential doesn't need permission to explode onto the national stage. As the game unfolded, it became clear that this wasn't going to be the messy, error-filled battle fans expected from 2 struggling teams. Instead, it turned into a showcase of everything Shadur Sanders was capable of when the ball was finally, fully, unequivocally in his hands. The throws were crisp and decisive. The deep shots were fearless. The timing routes were precise. The pocket movement was almost artistic, weaving through collapsing protection, keeping plays alive, demanding more time not out of desperation but out of confidence in his ability to find the perfect read. He didn't just move the chains. He controlled the field. He dictated the flow. He made defenders panic and forced Tennessee to adjust, to scramble, to react to him instead of the other way around. And when he took off running, adding nearly 30 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown, it only reinforced how complete his performance really was. His legs weren't a crutch. They were a weapon. A reminder to every team that passed on him that the athleticism they overlooked was very much a part of the package. His ability to extend plays, evade sacks, and create something out of nothing turned what should have been stalled drives into momentum swings and scoring opportunities. These weren't rookie flashes. They were veteran-caliber plays. And as the yards piled up, 364 through the air, 3 touchdowns, a highlight reel's worth of chunk gains, it became impossible to deny what was happening. This wasn't just a good day. This was a historic moment. But what made it even more surreal, almost poetic in the way football sometimes chooses its storylines, was who stood on the opposite sideline. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick. The quarterback who had been given the keys to a franchise from the moment his name was called. The player who entered the league with hype, security, and the full backing of the organization. Ward didn't implode or embarrass himself. He simply didn't rise. He didn't elevate. He didn't command the field the way a first overall pick should in a head-to-head matchup against a rookie taken 143 picks after him. The contrast was stark. One quarterback looked like the present and future of his franchise. The other looked like another unsteady young passer finding his footing. And the one who looked like a star was not the one the league expected. It wasn't just fans who noticed. It wasn't just analysts. It wasn't just the cameras capturing the way Sanders read blitzes or escaped pressure. It was his opponents, his teammates, his coaches, and most notably, the man who sat in the stands watching with a father's pride and a Hall of Famer's insight, Coach Prime himself. For the first time in Shadur's NFL career, his father watched from the stadium seats instead of the sidelines, witnessing firsthand the moment his son took his place in the national spotlight. Deion Sanders didn't need to say a word during that game. His presence said everything. This was the moment they had both prepared for, the moment that justified every sacrifice, every late-night film session, every step on a journey that so many doubted would ever reach this level. And when Shadur delivered history, it didn't just validate him, it validated the beliefs surrounding him for years. But football is rarely poetic all the way through. Because despite the performance, despite the dominance, despite the brilliance, Cleveland still found a way to lose. Defensive breakdowns allowed Tennessee to control the running game. Special teams mishaps returned to haunt them. A blocked punt, missed assignments, and a run defense that vanished at the worst possible time turned a masterpiece from their rookie quarterback into yet another painful chapter in a losing season. And then came the moment that may haunt Browns fans for years. The two-point conversion attempt that could have tied the game and rewritten everything. The moment when the ball should have been in Sanders' hands without question, without hesitation, without debate. Instead, he stood on the sideline, helmet still buckled, watching a direct snap to the running back unfold into chaos. It was a decision that made no sense. Not strategically, not emotionally, not logically, and certainly not after the game Sanders had played. Yet even that moment couldn't overshadow the magnitude of what Shedeur accomplished. For the first time all year, no reporter asked Stefanski whether Shedeur would start next week. The answer was obvious. The performance demanded respect. It demanded recognition. It demanded that Cleveland finally stop pretending they don't know what they have. Because in a franchise defined by quarterback uncertainty, Sunday gave them something they haven't had in decades. A reason to believe the search might finally be over. What comes next matters more than anything. Sanders has 4 more games to build on this historic moment, for more opportunities to stake his claim as Cleveland's future, for more chances to silence anyone who still doubts him. If he continues to ascend, the Browns won't just have hope, they'll have direction. They'll have identity. They'll have the one thing they've been denied for far too long, a quarterback worth building around. And the league will be forced to admit that draft position doesn't determine greatness. Heart, preparation, resilience, and undeniable talent do. If this moment had you fired up, make sure you absolutely destroy that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me if you think Shadur Sanders just proved he should have been the #1 pick all along. And hit subscribe with notifications on, because we're following every step of this incredible rookie journey. History is unfolding right in front of us, and trust me, you're going to want to witness every single chapter.